What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Thursday night team call. Today we have a special guest. I'll give her a quick announcement here in a minute, but I'm excited for you guys. So, Kristi, we're a little bit weird over here in the Team Dynasty. We do Zoom, but we also have Facebook Live and the team page. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, you got multiple people listening from different places. So,
that's brilliant.
Yeah, like sometimes it's like a good reminder. Like if they forget, it's like the live notification comes on, they hop on, and then it saves as a recording automatically in there too, which is awesome. So let's get started. So one quick thing, I want you guys to remember that we have a Super Saturday coming up in October. So make sure to go into your Coach Online office and save the date. I'm going to mute everybody real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, and then Kristi, I'll unmute you when your time comes. So we have Super Saturday coming up in October. Go into your Coach Online office, go to Events and Training tab, and then you'll be able to search and find your local Super Saturday and mark the date. It's so important that you get to Super Saturday. For example, I've never missed a Super Saturday. I remember our first ones traveling 5 hours. I remember Brigida and Linford and I and some other coaches, we drove all the way to Boise, which is a 5-hour drive to get to Super Saturday. So I want you guys to make that commitment to go, to be there, and then also make the commitment right now, if you haven't, to come to New Orleans with us next July for Coach Summit. Just a quick example of how our business has grown and this team has grown to where it's at. The first year I took 50 coaches with us, most of them local, and then some across the country. Next year we had 150. Next year we had 300. The next year we had 800. And this past year we had about 1,400 coaches. I have a goal of 2,000 of us at the next Coach Summit in New Orleans. So make the decision right now. Decide, and then that'll be part of your goals on to get there. And just team up with members of the team, share hotel rooms, make the plans now because you have an entire year to work towards that. And we want to celebrate your success and the success of your team at Coach Summit next year. So another quick announcement I want to make: if you check your Coach Online office, there's now you can access. There's details in there. The mobile app for your Coach Online office. It's super sweet. So hop into into that, check it out. It's a sweet app. It's really easy to navigate. Way less confusing than the normal Coach Online office. So with that being said, we're going to go right over to our guest speaker today, Kristi. She is on with us right now. I'm going to unmute you now, Kristi, so I don't forget later. Kristi is a 3-time elite coach.
4-time.
4-time elite
coach.
She's a 15-star diamond. Guys, that's the highest rank in the company. Superstar diamond coach. In her first business center, she is a 5-star diamond in her second business center. Her third business center is a 2-star diamond and 4-star qualifying. Her fourth business center is diamond, and her husband is a 1-star diamond. She has also been in Success Club 66 months in a row. Her and I started the same month, April of 2011. And she's never missed Success Club, and she's accomplished some pretty incredible things. So I'm more of my boys in here like throwing E&E off the shelf. So sorry about that. So I'm more of the preacher type. So I'm super excited that she's on here because she's a phenomenal teacher, and she has some great tips that she wants to give you guys today. So with that being said, Kristi, I'm going to pass the time over to you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for allowing me to speak to you. Just got off my own team call with Scotty, and our team is fired up, and you guys are so lucky to have a leader like him. So I want to tell you guys just a little bit about me and my story before I dive into some really tangible tips for you to take anything with this business. Take all the overwhelm out and just focus on getting stuff done so you can help a lot of people and see results that you want in your business. But first, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Kristi. I am from a little town. I grew up in a little town called Lincoln, California, and my husband and I just moved to Tahoe. But I basically found Beachbody a little bit different from most of you, I'm sure. A lot of people get started for their fitness goals. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, it was freezing on my end. So a lot of people get started for their fitness goals. I actually got started for the business. So my story goes back to when I was a child. My dad and mom, we grew up on a farm. We had everything. We had horses. I had 5 boxers. I love boxer puppies. And at the age of 8, my dad cheated on my mom, and he beat my mom up in front of us. And it's still hard for me to say that out loud. I don't share it often, but it just really shaped who I am today, because he had a multiple six-figure business, and he let it all go because he didn't want to pay child support to my mom. He moved out of state. He left the state. So I grew up without a dad. My mom had to go back to work. She was a stay-at-home mom at the time, and just to make ends meet. And there were nights that I would sit in my room and I could hear my mom crying herself to sleep because she didn't have $5 for a soccer tournament, or she didn't have any money if I wanted to play in a sport. And that was hard. Of course, that was tough. And I just always looked at the bright side of things. I'm like, Mom, it's okay. You love us. Like, we have food, we're making it. And I just didn't want her to suffer. I didn't want her to struggle and think that she wasn't a good mom. And so I was a valedictorian, did what I was supposed to do, went to college. I paid for my own college, went into 6 figures into debt to get a degree in financial management, because I thought if I got a degree in financial management that I could help my family. I could help my mom get back on track with finances. I would learn how to manage money. I wouldn't make the same mistakes that my father did. I thought that was going to be the answer. And I worked in the financial industry as a financial advisor in high-end wealth management for about 5 years. And every day I was miserable. I would go to work. I would hate Sundays. Sunday nights were the worst because I knew that Monday was coming. I would wait for the weekends, and I got really tired. I'm like, how do people just go to work to live for the weekends? I don't understand that. How does society think this is okay? Like, society is, I just don't get it. What is logical about this? And I would say this to people, and they would tell me, that's life, deal with it. And I didn't want to deal with it, but I also knew that at that point, I was still struggling financially. I lived in California in one of the most expensive places called San Luis Obispo, California. And the rent just for a 1-bedroom, like tiny little studio apartment was $1,500 a month. And that was, 10 years ago. And so I couldn't afford money, or I couldn't afford gas to put in my car. I would go to the gas pump and I would sit there and check my bank account. Like, do I have enough money to get to and from work this week? I'm like, here I am. I've gone to school to get this degree, paid a lot of money to do it, put a lot of time and effort, worked full time through college, and I'm still struggling. But I had all these job offers. I had these job offers in San Francisco and LA, making 6 figures, but I would look at them and I realized it took me this long in my life to realize what my priorities were. And that is one of my biggest tips for you, is sit down, take time to think about what your priorities are in your life, because I had no idea. And I realized that I didn't want to move to San Francisco. I didn't want to move to LA. That wasn't the quality of life that I wanted. I didn't want to spend my life in a car driving to and from work, working 10, 12, 13, 14, 15-hour days. Like, that is not living, to barely have time to actually use the money that you do have. And so I started searching for something, and what I was looking for was, I wanted something that allowed me passion. I wanted something that allowed me purpose. I wanted to do something that I enjoyed every day, that I didn't feel disgusting going to work. I wanted something that allowed time freedom and financial freedom. I was tired of a boss telling me that I only had 15 days of vacation a year. And there was a lot of stuff that happened to me in my full-time job. I actually I went from salary and commission to an hourly wage. I lost benefits. So when people tell me that Beachbody isn't secure, that I'm not going to make a secure income, I was like, I am not promised that in the corporate world, because I had already seen myself lose income. I had already seen lose vacation. I went from 34 days of vacation to 15. My life was just going backwards. And I am so grateful that my coach reached out to me, because we were both in the triathlon community, and said, I know you love fitness and everyone's always asking you, how to get in shape. Like, have you ever thought about helping people with their fitness goals? And I'm like, I would love that. I would love to do that. And so she shared the opportunity with me. And of course, I had done P90X. I had dabbled in it. I was that person that did not finish it. I was like, I'm sore. I'm not going to continue with this. But I looked into the opportunity, and it said yes to all of my priorities. So I dove in. I was busy. I worked full time. I also was training for an Ironman triathlon. So another 20 hours a week went into my Ironman training, and I started this coaching business on the side. But my goals, my priorities, my why was stronger than any excuse I could come up with. Like, I knew that if I wanted to live this life according to my priorities, according to my goals, according to my passion, according to my purpose, that I had to make a sacrifice. So I would wake up at 4 a.m. every morning. I would work my business from 4 to 5. I would work out. I would go to work. I would get off work. I would work out again. And then I would work my business in the evening hours. And the one thing I think that really separated me from all of like the newer coaches that I have getting started that get so overwhelmed is that I didn't have time to get overwhelmed. I didn't have time to get sucked into what should I do next? Oh, I need to make a pretty picture. Oh, I should scroll Facebook. Oh, I should start a website. Oh, I should post a Facebook ad. I didn't have time for that stuff. I only had time for the basics in my business. But there were a couple of things that when I was going through the basics, I didn't understand. So those are the things that I want to share with you guys tonight, because I think it was something that held me back in the business for quite some time, not because I didn't understand my why. I knew where I was going. I knew what I wanted to accomplish in this business. I knew how to share my story. I didn't actually know how to teach that to other people. And that's where I struggled the most in the beginning was how do I teach people to have a why, to have a purpose, to have passion? Like, how do I help them find that? Because mine was so evident. I was reminded of it every single day when I went to work. Like, my boss was a jerk. So every single day I would go home crying. I didn't have a chance to forget my why. You know, a lot of coaches will talk about like creating a vision board and having that why that's right in front of you every single day. And I didn't have that. I didn't have a vision board. I didn't even think about that because I was reminded of it every single day. So the first thing that I want to give you guys, and I have a lot of stuff to cover tonight, is 6 questions. And I'm actually going to post them in the comments. I think if I can get the comment, hold on, or in the little chat. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna cover them too, but I want to post them for you guys. So first is finding your why. And maybe you guys have a really hardcore why and you understand it, and that's awesome, but are you able to teach that to your teams? So number 1, the question is, what are some things that you have gone without in your life? What are some things you have gone without in your life? And I'll post these afterwards. I have them already copied and pasted to comment for you. Number 2, how has that made you feel? And how has it affected your quality of life? How has that made you feel? And how has it affected your quality of life? Number 3, if life were perfect a year from now, what would I do? Where would I go? What would I have? So I know for me, like I said, I struggled in the first few years, and I watched Scotty. He's an incredible leader. You guys are so blessed to have him. And I didn't have that. I didn't have a leader to go to. I didn't have a coach that gave me training. I didn't have a coach that had team trainings. I didn't even have a coach that would answer my emails. So I had to figure this all out myself. And I wish I would have had somebody to tell me this in the beginning, because I feel like I lost a lot of people in the beginning by not really understanding their why or how to help them develop that why. So I went through this week and I had all of my coaches answer these 3 questions. I went to my personally sponsored coaches and I said, I know we talk about our why. I know you have a strong one. I know we've gone through this, but I want to go through it again because I want to make sure that I'm clear on your why. I want to make sure that you're clear on it. And I want to make sure that you can take this and duplicate this with your team. So the next thing, once you have answered these 3 questions, I have 3 more for you. And this is how to find your mission. Because it's one thing to understand your why, and your why, the reason why is what are things you've gone without in your life is your why needs to be painful. It needs to be something that drives you. My why was painful because I was tired of going to my job every single day. I was tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I was tired of people telling me that my dream life didn't exist. I was tired of, basically just being a product of my father. And I wanted something different. And I didn't want to listen to everybody else that told me that my dream life didn't exist. So, but if you understand your why, sometimes it's not powerful enough for people to keep going during those tough times. So I really want you to figure out how to find your mission. So number one, when I look at the world, what brings me pain? So when you look at the world, what brings you pain? Number two, what specific changes have you seen in your life that you want to share with the world? So what specific changes have you seen in your life that you want to share with the world? Number three, if you could sum up the difference you want to make in others in 3 words, what would those 3 words be? So after this call, I want you guys to go through and answer all of these questions. I still have another one. I want you to answer them. I want you to send them to your success partner or to your upline coach. I don't want you guys just to hear these questions and be like, they're great, what a great idea, and not do them. I went through these questions with my coaches one-on-one on a Zoom, and they were in tears. They're like, Kristi, why are you doing this to me? And I'm like, I'm doing it because I want you to understand your purpose. I want you to understand the mission. I want you to feel it so strongly that on those days when you don't feel like working, when you don't feel like working out, when you don't feel like showing up to your business, you do, because it is that ingrained in you and you understand your priorities, your mission, your purpose. So the next thing I want you to do is I want you to use the answers from those questions and write a mission statement. And the mission statement for your life, for your business, cannot be exclusive. I want it to apply to every area of your life. So don't just use words like health, women, mom. Like it cannot be exclusive. Number 2, never limit people who don't have the same goal as you. Don't be selfish. Number 3, it needs to be 1 sentence. Needs to be 1 sentence. Okay, now I'll send this to you guys so you have it. So the reason why I wanted to share that with you guys first is because for me, this is the thing that held me back. So I was a brand new coach. I got elite in 2012, elite in 2013. I hit 5-star, or I was 5-star qualifying for 6 weeks, or it's a 6-week qualification, right? For 5 weeks. And on the very last day of qualifications, I lost 5-star. And this was in, I want to say 2012. I had just left my full-time job. I needed that 5-star bonus because I had just taken a pay cut by leaving my full-time job. And I cried. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. I don't know if I can do this. And I'm like, but this is my only option. And I knew that I was never going to quit. I was never going to give up. It took me a whole nother year to get back to 5-star diamond. So it was a year later, I ranked back to 5-star. In 2014, I had 1 personally sponsored coach go diamond. I had 2 because you had to have 2 for elite, but 1 was me. 1 was my 2nd or 3rd business center. And I had 1 personally sponsored coach in 2014 go diamond. I felt like the biggest failure as a leader. I can't even help I helped 1 person. She was one of my really good friends from high school. I helped 1 person rank to diamond that year in 12 months. And I treat this business like it's my job. I treat this business like it's an 8 to 5 job. I show up every single day. I was giving it my all, and I helped 1 person. And at first I was like, okay, I suck and I have a lot to learn, but I was okay with that because I knew that I could figure it out. I believed in my ability to figure it out. And in 2015, 1 year later, the very next year, I helped 15 personally sponsored coaches rank to diamond. 15 personally sponsored coaches. The year before, I was a big failure. I mean, it wasn't like I was a brand new coach. I had been a coach for, 3.5 years? I'd been a coach for 3.5 years and I could only help 1 person, but I kept going. I kept trying to figure it out. And the one thing that stood out the most to me was I didn't understand my team's why. I didn't understand their mission. I couldn't hold them accountable to that and be there for them if I didn't really understand them as people. And that's embarrassing to say. I was in this business to help people, but it was just the mark that I was missing. I just didn't get it. And when I went through these questions with my team, I felt like all of the failures over the last 5 years, it took me 5 years to get to Superstar Diamond Coach. I thought that I was going to get to Superstar in my first year. I'm behind on my goals every single year. It took me 5 years. And in this year, in 2016, I'll give you guys another idea. Last year at Summit, I was 7-star and 2-star. This year, when I arrived at Summit, and this was my, 4th or 5th Summit, whatever it was, I arrived as a Superstar Diamond Coach in my first business center, a 5-star Diamond Coach in my second, a 2-star in my third. And the year before, I was a 7-star and a 2-star. So no matter what, you can't give up if you don't get this business fully yet. Like if you don't understand how to help everyone yet. We're all on a growth mission, right? We're all trying to grow every single day. And I just had a lot more growing to do than other coaches. So you can't compare your journey where you're starting right now to anyone else. You are unique. You have so much to offer other people. So I have another question for you guys. This one you don't have to write down or answer or take back to your teams, but can you raise your hand if your life has been changed by Beachbody? I think I saw everyone's hand raised. Scotty, did you see everybody's hand raised? Is he here?
I am. Okay. Sorry, I was muted. Yes, I saw everybody.
Okay, cool. So I have you all have had your life changed by Beachbody, right? You all have a unique story. That change that you've seen, whatever it may be, it can be your personal growth, your business growth, your fitness progress, whatever change you've seen, that is your story. That there is someone in this world that needs you. There's somebody in this world that is not going to connect with me. They're not going to connect with Scotty. They're not going to connect with Lindsay Matway. They're going to connect with you. And if you don't share your story, that person might not get the help that they need. There are thousands and thousands, millions of people who need your help. And honestly, there are probably about 90% of those people that you're going to talk to are going to tell you no and are not going to believe in what you have to offer them. They're not going to believe in the solution that you have. But the other 10% of the people out there, they're searching. They're searching for you. You need to search for them. You need to find them because you could be that one person that changes their life. And for me, the 10% of the people's lives that I get to change are worth hearing the no's from the other 90%. Because if your coach didn't reach out and invite you or post on social media or share their story, your life wouldn't be changed. So you can't be selfish. You have to share this with others. You have to share how your life has changed. You have to share how your life has been impacted. So I'm going to go through more tips here. Sorry, I'm definitely a teacher. The next thing, it's really about the vital behaviors. We all know that. But sometimes I think we make it more complicated than it needs to be. And so that goes back to my story. I really only had time as a new coach to do the vital behaviors. I was able to replace my full-time income in a year, and I left my job, my full-time job, in a year and a half. Now, my husband and I retired my husband last year. He actually, and this is a little story side note for you guys, for those of you who maybe don't have a spouse that is supportive. My husband, he is the most supportive person, but when I started Beachbody, he was he doesn't say he was a skeptic, but when I would work in the evenings, he would look at me and roll his eyes because it was taking time away from us. So he didn't understand. I wasn't sharing my vision and my mission with him. That's another thing. You have to share your vision and your mission with those that are close to you. Because he didn't know, he didn't understand the vision and mission that I had in my head, the purpose that I had in my head. And so one night I sat down with him and I said, I know you don't understand this. I know this doesn't make sense to you, but I really need you to support me in this. I said, my purpose is to help other people with their health and fitness goals, which is another little side story is I had overcome depression and suicide. through fitness and nutrition. That's a story for another time. It really makes me cry. So, and I wanted to be able to give that back to other people. I wanted to make this my full-time job. I wanted to live life by my own design. And you don't have to understand that, but I just need you to support me in this and to not roll your eyes at me in the evenings because it makes it so hard for me because I love this so much and I love what I'm doing. And he was like, he apologized. He's like, I'm so sorry. And I will try not to roll my eyes, but could we please schedule out time for us? And it wasn't that he wasn't supporting me in the business. It was that the time was being taken away from him and he just wanted to protect us. And so by having that open communication with him and understanding that, I sat down and scheduled time out. Okay, this is when I'm going to work my business. These are the hours I'm going to work my business. This is the time that we have for us. And he became more supportive. And then it was, I'm not going to leave my full-time job. And he said, you don't have to. I want freedom because I live away from my family. I live away from my niece. My niece is 8 years old, and her first few years of life, I barely saw her. Her twin sisters there'll be one next week. And I have seen them 200% more in the last month than I saw their sister in her first couple years of life. And that was powerful to me because that was my goal. Like my goal was to have more, my love language is quality of time. And I wanted more time with my family. I wanted more time with those I love. And I wasn't getting that at a job. And I wasn't going to waste my life being at a job working for somebody else's dreams while I was missing out on the life with my family and those that I love the most. And so when I shared this with my husband, he was like, I get it, but I'm never going to leave my job. Last year in October, we moved to Tahoe last January in 2015. And throughout the summer, our family was visiting. I'm out there on our boat, skiing, wakeboarding. I'm at the beach and going on hikes with our family, going on all these adventures, stand-up paddleboarding, doing all these fun things. And my husband was sitting at home because he had to work. He was working remotely. We got his job to allow us to move to Tahoe and work remotely, but he still had to be at his desk from 8 to 5. So it still wasn't freedom. He was still working for a boss, and he let it go. And he made it through the winter, and he said, I can't do this. I'm missing out on all the good backcountry ski days. And so he left his job because he said, I love what I do, but I love my life more. And so even if you have that spouse that maybe isn't supportive in the beginning, they can come around. You just have to share that vision, that mission with them. Let them know your goals, your dreams, and how excited you are about it. They'll come around. He wouldn't even try Shakeology for the first year and a half. It took me a year and a half to get him to try Shakeology. And the only reason he tried it was because he went to the doctor. He has a heart condition, and he had high cholesterol and high blood pressure and cholesterol of that of an obese person. And immediately they gave him a prescription. My husband was an elite cyclist. He cycled for Team Cliff Bar. And I'm like, they're just going to put you on medication. You are healthy. You're an athlete. That is ridiculous. We need to change your nutrition. You got to do me a favor. Just try Shakeology every day for 90 days. And go back, retake the test, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. And he went back after 90 days, and all of his numbers were normal. He's been using Shakeology ever since. But I didn't push it on him. I just knew that if I was living the life, if I was showing up every day, if I was leading by example and focusing on me and what I could control, which are my actions, that people would come around. My mom, she's overweight. My family's overweight. I come from an obese family. People follow me and they say to me all the time, those haters, oh, you just have good genetics. It's easy for you. I work really hard. I come from an obese family. And my mom is the one person that I wanted to help in this. And in my third year of coaching, as I was walking into Summit at Vegas, my mom called me and she goes, Kristi, I want to get Shakeology. I just went on a walk. And my tears were streaming down my face as I walked into Summit. For 3 years, I had been a coach, leading by example, sharing with her my passion, sharing with her my vision, my mission, sharing with her all the success stories of all the people that I was helping. And it took her 3 years to be ready to commit to her health and fitness. And now my mom is a 1-star diamond coach, and she's in the health vet, and she checks in every day, and she's like, did you see my check-in? She's so cute. And it took me 3 years, and I would do it all over again. I would go through all of the struggles and all of the setbacks and all of the tears to help my mom. So what is that mission that is going to keep you going when times get tough? Okay, the next action items that I have for you tonight. I know I have a lot, so please go through and answer those questions to figure out your why and your mission, because they're going to help you be so much more clear when you're posting to Facebook, when you're sharing your story, when you're talking to people. Because when I share my why and my vision and my mission with people, people say yes. People don't buy the what or the how, or they buy the why. They buy you. They want to know that you care about them. So the next thing that you have to do after you understand your why and your vision is you have to have a game plan. You have to show up every single day consistently in your business. We know that, the compound effect. We breathe it, but do we do it? I know I see, this is one of the things that pains me the most as a coach, is I will see coaches come to me and complain, oh my gosh, this person says they want to lose 30 pounds, and then they're telling me that they need to get healthy, and they're overweight, and they have all these health issues, and then they don't have the time to work out, or they found out it's $140 and they don't want to spend the $140. And they're frustrated. These coaches are frustrated. How do they say they want all of this, but they don't want to work for it, right? And that same coach turns around and says, I want this business. I'm all in. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to leave my full-time job. I'm going to help hundreds of people. And then when I say, how are your vital behaviors this week? How is your business activity tracker? How's it looking? Oh, life just happened. Life was tough this week. Life was rough. The kids are going back to school, and we just ran out of time. We had family in town. I couldn't even get in my workouts. It was just a rough week. We got a lot going on. Guys, it's easy to see where other people are making excuses. Don't be the same thing that makes you frustrated with other people. So I'm going to give you 4 things, and you guys already know these things, but I hope it gives you an aha moment. Is number 1, we all know this, be a product of the product. But what workout are you committing to right now? So that's my question for you. What workout are you committing to right now? Committing like a challenger, showing up like a challenger, not dabbling in our programs, not drinking Shakeology on occasion, not working out to 21-day fix one day and then taking 2 days off and doing country heat the next 3 days. Like, what workout are you committing to as a challenger? Because people want to see that these programs work. They want to hear your story. Yes, Scotty, Body Beast, that's mine. I'm like Body Beast like 3 years. I probably need to mix it up. I do once in a while, but it's really hard. I love Body Beast. Hammer and Chisel is another favorite. Number 2, daily posts are part of the process. And I'm going to give you tips on this, okay? So my first question to you with posting daily is how many times a day will you post? And I'm saying how many times a day will you post for a specific reason? Because a lot of people say, oh, post 2 to 5 times a day. Okay, but if somebody tells you to post 2 to 5 times a day and you're posting 0, that's not working. So how many times a day will you post? The number doesn't matter, the consistency does. It is better to get 1 great post out a day than 0. So how many times a day will you post? Now I'm going to give you tips for how to post, how to be you, how to share your journey, because people want to connect with you. They don't want to connect with me. They don't want to connect with Scotty. They don't want to connect with Melanie Nitro. They are your followers because they want to know about you and the layers of you and the story of you, and your story will help people. I was depressed. I never thought that the depressed girl that wanted to commit suicide, that couldn't get out of bed, would ever amount to anything. At that moment, I wanted to end my life and nothing more. But that struggle that I went through now allows me to help other people. And that's a story that is still hard. I get it. Some parts of our stories are hard to tell, but I tell it because I know that there are people out there that need hope. And whatever struggles you have gone through and overcome, those are the things that you need to share, because those are the things that are going to help other people. So here's some questions I have for you. Again, questions, I'll copy and paste these for you guys. These are just to help you with sharing your story so that you don't need to go and copy another coach. You need to share your story and be you. So what was going through your mind when you were working out today? If you guys go to my Facebook, I used that question today. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to post about. And I posted step by step what was going through my mind. I'm training for a marathon right now. What was going through my mind during my workout. Next, I want you guys, if you're not sure what to post that day, go to Pinterest. Find a quote that resonates with you. Why does that quote resonate with you? What in your story connects with that quote? And turn around and post that to social media. Because that's the part of your story that you need to share. The other thing I would do is I would come home and I would tell my husband, I would tell Paul about something I was so excited about for the day. And, maybe a challenge or success story, or something in my business that I accomplished, or something in my fitness that I accomplished, or just something about my day. Like, I am a competitor. I'm an Ironman triathlete. I'm a bikini competitor, figure competitor, marathoner, like all of these things. Like, there's so much of your story that you can tell. You don't have to be any of those things to be successful. Next thing, why didn't you give up? What is fueling you? What do you refuse to ever go back to? Like, I refuse to ever go back to my 9-to-5 job. People ask me all the time, oh, if you weren't a Beachbody coach, what would you do? I'm like, what? No, there is nothing else. This is my option. I will never go back to the 9-to-5. I refuse to ever go back to that. What do you refuse to do? Why does it bother you? Those things that you refuse to do, why do they bother you? Why are you making that decision? Why did you fill in the blank? Why didn't you fill in the blank? These are things that you can ask yourself to help with sharing your story. So, yesterday on my fan page, I actually went live and I shared why I decided not to compete, because I qualified for nationals and I'm not going. That's part of my story. A lot of people are wondering, why isn't she competing? So I shared that. I shared why I switched from going to nationals to doing a marathon. And it was personal to me. So those are things to help you with posting. So how many times a day will you post? It's the consistency. Number 3, how many new combos a day will you start? Again, if you're doing 0 right now, I don't care if your number is 1. You need to start taking action, because you have a story to share and there are people who need you. And if you're being selfish and not putting yourself out there, you're sacrificing the gift. And there's so many other things you should be sacrificing. So how many new combos will you start a day? If you have a hard time starting combos, I'm going to give you a conversation starter. When you're posting, because you should be posting about your journey, about your story, and people like or comment on your post on Instagram, on Facebook, whatever it is, message them. Thank you so much for liking my picture. It means so much to me when other people support me on my journey and send good vibes. Are you on a health journey too? Super easy. It opens conversation. People are going to tell you right away, are they on a health journey? Yes. If they are, I'm going to invite them to the coach opportunity. Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. I love hearing other people's success stories. Have you ever considered helping other people with their fitness goals and paying it forward? If they say no, they're not on a fitness journey, most likely they're going to tell me what excuse and what reason they're not on a journey. So then I can use an objection response to that objection. Like if someone says time, oh my gosh, I totally get that. I was so busy. I put off my fitness goals for years until I found that I could see results in 30 minutes a day. Would that interest you? So how many combos will you start a day? How many combos will you start a day? It doesn't matter. I 10x everything. If you want your goals faster, you do more. You have more conversations. But if you're doing 0 right now, you need to start somewhere, because every decision you make either builds or hurts your confidence. And if you say you're going to invite 2 people, 5 people, 10 people a day, and you don't do that, you hurt your confidence. But those days that you show up and you do it, you are building confidence in yourself. And I will tell you right now that when you choose hard things, your life becomes easier. Scotty and I are a testament to that. We had to sacrifice. We had to show up when others don't. We had to give things up. We had to work when we didn't feel like it. We had to work when we were tired. We had to invite people when it was scary. We had to invite people when people were telling us that we were frauds or fakes or making fun of us because we were coaches. We chose hard, and our lives are easier now for it. But if you choose easy, your life will become hard. Think about it. Those people that are overweight, that are 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 5 pounds, whatever it is, they're unhealthy, they have high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It is not because they just ate bad today. It is a compound effect of the choices that they made every single day, of the habits that they have every single day. And it might have been easy for them to make those choices to eat that cake every single day, while we're making the hard choices to follow our 21-day fixed nutrition plans. We're making the hard choice, but our habits change and it becomes easier. They make the easy choice, and you might not see it right away. The compound effect talks about it throughout the entire book. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now, their easy choices show up, and their life is hard. So make the hard choice. Start those conversations. If you're not doing it right now, start with 1 a day. And when you get comfortable and confident in that 1 a day, you move it to 2. And what happens a lot of times is if you show up just for that 1 a day, all of a sudden the next day, you're like, wait, that 1 was really easy. I know I can do more than that. And you start inviting 2. It's what I did. When I started this business, they said invite 2 to 5 people a day. We had the game plan, is what it was called. And so I invited 5 people a day. And in my first month, I didn't reach the goals that I wanted to reach. So what did I do my second month? I upped that. I upped that to 10 and 15 and 20 people a day. And that might sound crazy. I know when I tell my new coaches that, it sounds crazy. That's okay. Do what you can, but show up. Because in your consistency, you will create the successful habits to reach your goals and to help change a lot of lives. Number 4, last one, sorry. How many minutes a day will you commit to personal development? Again, I'm not going to give you a number because you need to be consistent in that number. Too often coaches say, I'm going to do 30 minutes a day, and they get to day 5 of the week and they haven't done personal development once. You guys, personal development is what sorry, tongue-tied. Personal development is to our mind what fitness is to our body. Personal development is to our mind what fitness is to our body. We show up for our fitness goals. At least most of us do. I find it easy to show up to my fitness goals because fitness brought me out of depression. I never want to go back there. The fear of going back there terrifies me. So I show up every day, right, for my fitness. In the beginning, I didn't get personal development. Like I said, I didn't have a coach that taught me. I didn't understand what it was. When I saw it on our game plan, I crossed it out. I was like, oh, I don't need to do that. I don't know what that is, but that'll take more time away from building relationships and connecting with people. So I don't know what to do with that. But I was doing it. I just didn't know I was doing it. Every single day, I was hungry. I was hungry to learn. I was hungry to change my mindset. I was hungry. You know, the first one of the first books that I read was Go Pro. I had no idea. It was just like, I need to learn about network marketing because I have no idea how to talk to people. I'm an introvert and I've been sitting behind a computer for a long time and I need to get out of the house. So I had to learn these things. So I dove in, but I didn't know that I was doing personal development, and I was probably doing an hour a day. But if you told me to do an hour a day, I probably wouldn't have done it. I was just hungry to learn. So I want you committing every single day, whatever that looks like for you. Because here's the thing. As humans, we are emotional creatures. We are not logical. And this business, there will be hard times. You are going to struggle. But when you overcome, the beauty of that is whenever I'm struggling now, I look at that struggle and I'm like, this is so awesome. Because I believe in my ability to figure it out. I know that I will figure out how to overcome that struggle, and I will turn around and I will teach others how to overcome that struggle. And if it weren't for my struggles, I wouldn't be able to help other people. How powerful is that? Whatever struggle you are going through right now, know that you can figure it out. Believe in your ability to figure it out. There is an answer for everything. And when you do, you will feel amazing because you didn't give up when it got hard. You built confidence because you showed up when it was tough. You chose hard so that your life can become easy. So those 4 questions, I know they're super basic and you're like, Kristi, those are the vital behaviors, but how many of you are showing up every day for the vital behaviors? How many of you are showing up and sharing your journey consistently, sharing your story so that you can help other people? Because I'm not you. I can't connect with people in the way that you can. Scotty can't connect with people in the way that you can. You are the only person who has your story. And if you are holding that in your mouth, it pains me if you're holding it in your mouth because there are so many people out there that need our help. And you can take all the top coaches in Beachbody, and all of us are not going to be able to touch the lives of all the people out there that are waiting for a solution. Your life has been changed by Beachbody. Use these tips and these tools to help more people change their life. And that's all I have for you guys tonight. Sorry, Scotty, I went over.
No, that's perfect. Thank you, Kristi, so much. I got so much valuable information from there, and I've copied all your questions, so we're going to share it with the team.
Oh, yeah. I will. Oh, you got them. Okay, well, I was going to paste them.
Send them over to my Facebook, too, in case they go out when I close this out. So
perfect.
Okay, thank you,
awesome.
Kristi.
Thank
we really
you, guys.
value your time, and we're going to take into action what we learned today. And like you, the live comments and the team page as well, like they were blown up with excitement, and they really relate to your story. So one thing that you spoke that really stuck to my mind is I remember someone telling me once, the person who tells the story the most wins. And I was like, I'm going to tell my story more than anybody else.
Yes.
So,
and God, I'm so glad you said that. Guys, I struggled with that. If you're struggling with telling your story right now, I watched Scotty do such an incredible job of telling his story. And I really did. I struggled for a long time. And I think that was the biggest change, was one, that I understood how to help other people see their vision and their mission. I was always consistent with the vital behaviors, but I wasn't able to relay that to my coaches. I couldn't help them understand their passion and purpose so deep that they would show up every single day for these 4 vital behaviors, right? And as I continued on as a coach and continued my personal development and heard things like that, like, the more you tell your story, the person that tells their story the most, they're going to win, and they truly are. And sometimes it feels like you're telling the same story, but it connects with people in different parts of their journey and different parts of their life. Every 6 months, our lives go through different different changes. Sometimes people are pregnant when they might read something and it doesn't pertain to them because maybe you're not pregnant, but then they have their baby and now your story makes sense to them and they're going through that. So life changes. I have coaches on my team that actually signed up with me, quit, re-signed up with me, and are now 2-star diamonds. If I would have stopped sharing my story, they would have just quit and gone away. But they didn't. They continued to follow me. They continued to follow my journey. And now those people that quit and re-signed up with me have left their full-time jobs. That's powerful. But it's because I didn't stop telling my story, even though that person knew it, right? So all of these different layers of your story are so important. And I hope that you guys can take those questions about how to tell your story better, because that has really been effective for me. I have to think before writing a Facebook post. I am not a good writer. I'm not a good speaker. I get really nervous even talking on this call with you guys tonight. I get nervous. I'm an introvert. And so when it comes to posting on social media, I actually have to think about it. And if that's you, that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're a bad coach or that you're not going to be successful. It just means that you have to put a little more thought and ask yourself the right questions so that you know the pieces of your story to share with other people.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kristi.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
You did awesome. You are a great speaker, so I want you next time telling yourself, I am a great speaker.
I know, I am a great speaker.
There you go. Thank you for being on the call. I recorded this. I got the baby screaming in the background. The kids went out for a walk and left the baby. So I love you guys. Thanks for being on the call with us today, Kristi. Thanks to each and every one of you guys for spending time with us. And I'll post this recording up the team page, share it with your coaches, and let's go crush it this week. See you guys.